All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're exploring a city that's seriously making waves as a go-to spot for expats, Kuala Lumpur. We are going to break down everything, and I mean everything, you need to know if you're even thinking about making the Malaysian capital your new home. So let's start with the big question.
So, you know that feeling. You're looking for that perfect place to live abroad, and you're caught in that classic tug of war. How do you find a city with an amazing, vibrant quality of life that doesn't completely empty your wallet every month? It's a tough balance to strike. But what if I told you there's a city that might have actually cracked the code?
Well, say hello to Kuala Lumpur. In the 2023 Expat City Ranking, it landed at number 8 out of 49 cities, and for a very good reason. KL just totally flips the usual script. Instead of that high-cost, high-stress combo you get in most major cities, here you're looking at high quality with a low cost. And just to put that into perspective, your living expenses here would be a staggering 64% lower than in nearby Singapore. Wow.
Okay, so that all sounds pretty great, right? But it brings us to the most critical question of all. What's the bottom line? What will it actually cost you to live a good life in Kuala Lumpur? Let's do a little reality check on the numbers.
Here we go. For a comfortable, modern, full-on expat lifestyle, you're looking at a range of about $1,500 to $3,500 a month. Yeah, you heard that right. And I know that might sound almost too good to be true, so let's dig into exactly how that's even possible. The number one reason, the biggest factor by a mile, is housing, and the difference is just dramatic. On average, rent in Kuala Lumpur is 74.5% lower than in the United States. That's not just a small saving, that is an absolute game changer for your monthly budget. And the savings just keep rolling in. When you look at a typical budget like this, you see how manageable everything else is. Groceries can be as little as $90 a month. You can get high-speed internet for about $25. And check out transportation. For just $35, you can get a monthly pass for unlimited rides on the entire public transit system. Think about that.
Okay, so we've established it's seriously affordable. But now for the fun part. Where would you actually live? Let's take a look at 3 of the most popular expat neighborhoods. Each one has its own unique vibe, so you can see where you might fit in.
First up, we have Mont Kiara. Its nickname is the Beverly Hills of KL. And, well, that kind of tells you everything you need to know, right? It's polished, it's very international, and it is a huge magnet for expat families.
And it's really easy to see why. In a lot of the condo buildings here, about half the residents are expats. It's right next to some of the best international schools in the city, and you've got Western-style supermarkets and all the family-friendly stuff you could want. Bottom line, if you've got school-age kids, Mont Kiara is almost definitely where you're going to start your search.
But hey, maybe that quiet, suburban feel isn't exactly your scene. If that's the case, let me introduce you to Bangsar. This neighborhood is the vibrant, creative, beating heart of KL's social scene.
Bangsar is where you'll find the young professionals and the creative folks. It is just buzzing with trendy cafes, art galleries, and a really great nightlife. We're talking over 200 international restaurants, plus it's super well connected with the rail system. If you want energy and convenience, this is your spot.
And finally, for anyone who wants to be right in the middle of everything, we have KLCC. That stands for Kuala Lumpur City Center. This is urban living, but with a serious dose of luxury and convenience. We're talking premium, slick high-rise condos that come with hotel-style pools and gyms, and it's all within walking distance of the famous Petronas Towers. Now, it does cost more to live here, for sure, but for a lot of business executives, having that prime central location and that level of convenience is absolutely worth the price.
So you've got your budget figured out, you've maybe got a neighborhood in mind, but what about the real foundations of a livable city? Let's talk about the big 3: healthcare, transport, and education. Now this is a huge one for expats. The private healthcare in Malaysia is excellent. You've got internationally accredited hospitals like Prince Court and Gleneagles. And the cost? It's about 60 to 80% lower than what you'd pay in the West. A visit to a private specialist might only cost you between $22 and $55. You'll still want to get health insurance, of course, but the value you get is just incredible.
And getting around the city couldn't be easier. It's literally a simple 3-step process. You grab what's called a touch-and-go card, you load it with that $35 monthly pass we talked about, and then you just tap and go across the entire network of trains and buses. It's efficient, it's clean, and it is so cheap.
For families, I know that the quality of schools is everything. Well, KL really delivers here. You have top-tier international schools like the Alice Smith School and ISKL. The British curriculum tends to be the most popular, but you can easily find American and IB programs too.
which makes for a really smooth transition for the kids.
Okay, we've nailed down all the practical stuff. Now, let's get into what it actually feels like to live the KL lifestyle, from your visa options to, of course, the amazing food. So, if you're looking to plant some roots, you'll want to know about the Malaysia My Second Home program, or MM2H for short. It's recently been updated and now has 3 tiers: silver, gold, and platinum. Each one has different requirements for a fixed deposit and how long you can stay, but it gives you a really clear roadmap for long-term residency.
You know, fitting into Malaysia's awesome multicultural society is really easy once you know a few simple things. Always use your right hand when you're eating or handing something to someone, kick your shoes off before you go into a person's home, and dress a bit more modestly if you're visiting a mosque or a temple. These little things really do go a long way. All right, we cannot possibly talk about life in Malaysia without celebrating the food. I mean, come on. First up is the undisputed national champion, nasi lemak. It starts with this amazing coconut rice, but it's the whole party on the plate. The spicy sambal, the crispy anchovies, peanuts, a hard-boiled egg that makes it an absolute icon you can eat any time of day.
Next, something everyone loves, satay. We're talking perfectly marinated skewers of chicken or beef grilled over charcoal. But the secret, the real magic, is the dipping sauce. This rich, chunky, sweet and savory peanut sauce that is just so good.
And finally, you absolutely have to try laksa. It's this famous spicy noodle soup, but here's the cool part. There isn't just one kind. From a rich, creamy curry laksa to a tangy, fish-based Assam laksa, every part of the country has its own version, and each one is a total flavor explosion.
So there you have it, a city that gives you an incredible quality of life for a tiny fraction of the cost of other big hubs. It's modern, it's connected, it's full of culture, and it is just ridiculously delicious. The only real question left to ask is the one right there. Could Kuala Lumpur be your next chapter?